Well, you can definitely tell Kevin Williamson didn't write this one, but you know what? In the grand scheme of offerings from Aaron Kruger, I mean, this is definitely not one of his worst. I mean, and I totally get why they gave him the job to write this one, particularly because he was coming off the heels of these incredibly great Arlington Road, so I totally get that. And as a trilogy ender, I was satisfied. I remember seeing this when it came out and being very satisfied as this as a trilogy wrap up. And for a time, it actually was a trilogy wrap up. And now I will say it's an explanation that doesn't sit well as time goes on, principally because it operates under the belief that, you know, that a person who has a lurid history in Hollywood, all of a sudden, because of that one night, she becomes promiscuous later on down the line. I'm like, that's kind of... I'm pretty sure that can be labeled as offensive down the line, but there is still a lot of it that is still enjoyable. It is still rewatchable. I rewatch this one constantly because it is still a fun movie. There are still great moments. I will say Parker Posey steals every single scene she's in. I think one of my favorite things in this movie is the back and forth between her and Courtney Cox. And yeah, Neve Campbell opted for less screen time in this one, and I feel like that was actually a benefit to the movie because it wound up having more play for Dewey and Gale, which, given the fact that their relationship's kind of front and center in this movie, actually still works. And because of that, we still get more of Gale with Jennifer, Courtney Cox. She's a great character, and I will say it is fitting that the resolution of this all goes back to Hollywood and goes back to the people who make the scary movies. I really thought that was very appropriate, that this is the battleground to which the resolution to all this plays. And I will say the resolution of who the character, the killer is, and in very apt fashion for trilogies, they do a great job of all encompassing it. All of that is totally great. Now, I mean, it is still odd that there's one killer in this one versus the usual two, because it does make you wonder how the hell he's able to pull off some of those. Well, how he's able to pull off voice replication, which I'm like, we still don't have that damn technology. But yeah, I don't know. I don't care. Still enjoyable. As a resolution of the trilogy, I was satisfied for the time being, but honestly, I'm glad that the series is moving on. And given where we go from here, I'm really glad for that. So Scream 3 is definitely the low point of the franchise, but given the fact that this is a franchise with a lot of high points, I'm totally satisfied with that.